Okay. Hello friends, good morning. Welcome to the world of C program. I am Sindhil Kumar, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Here today we are going to see the overview of C program. Okay, overview means we are going to see who developed this C language, when it was developed, and then where it was developed, for what purpose they have developed this language. And then next we are going to see the features. What are the different features of C programming language, advantages and the disadvantages, and then applications of C program. Okay. So let's get started with the C program. So the C program is just a language, as computers do not understand English or Tamil or Hindi. You need to learn a new language to speak with them. After learning the C programming language, you can order the computer to do various tasks for you. Okay. So firstly, the C programming language is a high-level programming language. Okay. So it means that it is closer to human language. Okay. So then to machine language, once you are proficient, then you can easily read and understand a code written in a C programming language. Okay. Now I'm going to share a PPT. Okay. So we are going to see who developed this language, when it was developed, and then where it was developed. Okay. So now we are going to see. Okay. So the C language is a high-level structure-oriented programming language. Okay. This language was developed by Dennis Ritchie. Okay. He only developed this language. Okay. So this language was developed at AT&T. AT&T means American Telephone and Telegraph Bell Lab. Okay. This lab was situated in United States of America. So in the year 1972, Dennis Ritchie developed this C programming language. Okay. So some of the facts about C programming language. Initially, this C programming language was invented to write a Unix operating system. Okay. So this language is a successor of BCPL. BCPL in the sense basic combined programming language, and then B language. Okay. Before developing the C language, BCPL and then B language was evolved. Okay. So Linux operating system and then PHP, MySQL, these applications are written in C language. Okay. And then next we are going to see the taxonomy of the C programming language. Okay. Taxonomy means there is an order. Okay. Uh, Initially, this Algol was the first language. This language was developed in the year 1960. So this language was developed in the year 1960. Algol means algorithmic language. Okay. So this is the first language. Okay, that uses the concept of a block structure. Okay. So this algorithmic language never became popular in United States of America, but it is widely used in European countries. Okay. So this is the first language. Algol is the algorithmic language. This is the first language to use the block structure. Okay. And then the year later 1967, Martin Richards, he developed a language known as BCPL, Basic Combined Programming Language. So this language was developed for writing system softwares. Okay. Later in the year 1970, Ken Thompson, he developed a language known as B language. Okay. So Ken Thompson uses many features of BCPL, that is a basic combined programming language. Okay. He used it to write early versions of Unix operating system. Okay. So Algol was developed in the year 1960. Okay. In the year 1967, Martin Richards, he developed a language known as BCPL, Basic Combined Programming Language. So this language was developed for writing system software. Later in the 1970, Ken Thompson, he developed a language known as B. Okay. So this language was developed to write early versions of Unix operating system. Okay. So later in the year 1972, Dennis Ritchie, he developed a language known as C. So the C language was evolved from Algol, BCPL, and then B. Okay. So this Dennis Ritchie developed this language at AT&T Bell Laboratory. Okay. So Dennis Ritchie uses many concepts from this language, okay, and added the concept of data types and other powerful features. Okay. So later in the year 1978, KNRC means that is a Brain Kernighan and Dennis Ritchie. K stands for Kernighan and R stands for Ritchie. Okay. So in the 1978, KNRC, okay, Brain Kernighan and then Dennis Ritchie, okay, they wrote a book entitled The C Programming Language. Okay. Later in the year 1983, ANSI means American National Standard Institute. Okay. So they established a committee to provide a modern, comprehensive definition of a language. Okay. The resulting definition was ANSI C. This was completed late in 1988. Okay. So this is the taxonomy of C language. Okay. Next, we are going to see the uses of C programming language. Okay. The C program was used for developing system applications. Some of the applications are database system, language interpreter, compiler, operating system, network driver, and then word processor. Okay. So database system, database means this is a collection of data or information. Okay. So and then next one is the language interpreter. So interpreter is used to translate one statement, one statement of a program at a time into machine code. Okay. So this is for translating this high-level language into machine understandable code. So this interpreter will translate one statement at a time. Okay. And then operating system. This provides an interface between the user and hardware of the computer. Okay. And the network driver. So this is also applications of C language. Okay. So this network driver is a software program that controls a device used to connect a computer to a network. Okay. So using this network driver, okay, we can use it to connect a computer to a network. Okay. So these are the applications of C programming language. Okay. And then next we are going to see why the C program become popular. So there are several reasons for this C program become popular. One is this is one of the early programming language. Okay. The C language was developed in the 1972. Later, C++ and then Java, these languages was developed. Okay. So this C is the base language. So this is the base for C++ and Java. So still this is one of the best programming language and then very quick to learn. Okay. So this language is simple and easy to use. So this is a structured programming language. Okay. So we want to, while writing a program in C language, okay, we should follow the structure. Okay. Next we will discuss in detail what is the structure of the C program. Okay. And then modern programming concepts are based on C language. Okay. It can be compiled on variety of computer platforms. So these are the reasons why the C language become popular. Okay. And the next one we are going to see the features of C language. So this C language is a robust language. Robust means this language was built strongly, okay, which with a rich set of built-in functions and then operator. So there are different functions are there. Okay. And then there are different types of properties are there. Okay. By using this operator, we can perform a arithmetic and logical calculations. Okay. So this programs written in C language are efficient and then fast. Okay. So the C is a highly portable language. Okay. Portable means easily movable. Okay. Programs once written in a C can be run on another machine. So without doing any modifications or changes, okay, that can be run on another machine. Okay. So C is basically a collection of library functions. So we can create our own library function and then that can be added to C library. So C is easily extensible. Extensible means easily expandable. Okay. So these are the features. Robust language. Robust language means this language is built strongly. Okay. So there are many built-in functions are there. Different types of functions are there. User-defined function and then predefined functions, and then different types of operatives are there. So this language is built strongly. Okay. We can write programs very easily. Okay. So this is efficient one, and then we can execute the program very fastly. Okay, this is highly portable language. Highly portable means easily movable. We can program written in one machine that can be run on another machine without doing any minor changes. Okay. So this C language has a collection of library functions. User can create their own library function, so that can be added into C library. Last point, C is easily extensible. Extensible means easily expandable. Okay, we can expand the C language easily. Okay. Next one, advantages of C language. Okay. So this is one of the building blocks for many of the programming language. So this language was developed by Dennis Ritchie. Okay. So based on the C language, C++ language was developed. Okay. C++ and then Java. So these two are C++ and Java are object-oriented programming languages. Okay. Programs written in C are highly portable. Portable means easily movable. Okay. So there are several built-in functions are there. So that can be used to develop a program. Okay. So and then modular structure. So C is a structure-oriented programming language. Okay. So we can easily that makes code debugging. Okay. We can debug. Debug means we can rectify the error easily. Okay. And then maintenance and then is also very easy. So these are the advantages of C programming. And then next one is the disadvantages. Disadvantages means C does not provide an object-oriented programming concept. Okay, C is a structure-oriented programming language, whereas C++ and Java are object-oriented programming language. Okay, so there are several OOPS concepts are there. Some of the OOPS concepts are object, classes, data abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, message passing, and then dynamic binding. So, but the C language does not provide this OOPS concept. Okay. And then C does not provide a constructor and destructor. So these two concepts are in object-oriented programming concept. Constructor and destructor both are special member functions. So this concept is not provided in a C language. Okay. So these are the advantages and the disadvantages of C programming language. Next, we are going to see the basic structure. Okay. So while writing a program in C language, okay, we should follow this basic structure. Okay. So there are different sections in C programming. There are different sections in a structure of a C programming language. Okay. So next we are going to see in detail about the structure of C programming. Okay. So this is the basic structure of a C program. So there are different sections at the C. Here, the first section is a documentation section, and the next one is a pre-process section. So other name of pre-process section is a link section. So followed by a global declaration section, and then a main function. Inside the main function, there are two different sections are there. One is local declaration section, another one is a statement. Okay. So statements mean that is a declaration part and then execution part, followed by subprogramming section. So this is the basic structure of a C program. Okay. So in this basic structure, so these things are optional. Documentation section, and then a global declaration section, and then subprogramming section. These three sections are optional one. Okay, this is not mandatory. This is not mandatory. Okay. So these are the different sections. Next, we are going to see in detail about what is a documentation section, and then next we are going to see example for a documentation section. Okay. So this is the basic structure. This structure consists of a documentation section, and then pre-process section. Other name of pre-process section is the link section, followed by global declaration section, and then main function. So inside the main function, there are two parts. One is a local declaration part, another one is a execution part, followed by subprogramming section. Okay. So next one, first one is the documentation section. So this section consists of a set of command lines. Okay. So command line in C language. So this double backslash is a single line command, and then backslash followed by asterisk, and then asterisk followed by single backslash. So this is known as multi-line command. Okay. So in documentation section, this section is an optional one. Okay. So this section consists of a set of command lines. So all the statements that are written inside the command line will not be executed by the compiler. So the compiler will ignore these statements. Okay. So usually the programmer will give the details. Usually the programmer will give the details associated with the program. Usually he gives the name of the program, okay, and then details of the author, and then other details like time of coding, and then description of the program. Okay, usually this programmer will give the name of the program. Okay, so for example, he is going to write a C program for addition of two numbers. Okay, so the program will be saved, okay, by using .c extension as .c. Okay, so add .c. Here add is the program name. Okay, and then .c is the extension. Okay, so the details of the author, who wrote this program, and then when it was when he wrote the program, and then description. Okay, in the description part, he will give for addition of two numbers, we are in need of two input. Okay, and then we can perform the addition operation, and the final result will be displayed. Okay, so the documentation section. So the section consists of set of command line. In C language, there are two types of command line. One is single line command, and one is a multi-line. So this double backslash is a single line command, and then single slash followed by asterisk, and then asterisk symbol followed by backslash. So this is a multi-line command. All the statements that are written inside the command line will be ignored by the compiler. Compiler won't execute these statements. Okay. So in this section, the programmer will give the name of the program, and then give the details, and then time of coding, and then description. Okay. Next section is the link section. So other name of link section is a pre-process section. So in this section, we will declare all the header files. Okay. So we will declare all the header files that will be used in the program. Okay. So has include statements, has include. So this is a header file. Okay. So here in this section, we will declare all the header files. Okay. So what compiler will do? Compiler will link the built-in function from the system library. So some of the header files has include stdio.h. So stdio.h means standard input output page, and then math.h. Okay, and then string.h. So these are the different header files. Okay, standard input output stdio means standard input output, and then math.h. So for performing all the mathematical calculation, it include the math.h. Suppose to if you are going to perform string operations like string copy, string compare, string concatenate. So in this purpose, we want to include the string.h header file. Okay. So in this section, in this link section or pre-process section, we will declare all the header files that will be used in the program. Okay. And then followed by the link section. Next one is the definition section. In this section, we will define all the symbolic constants. Okay. So for example, if you are going to find the area of, for example, if you are going to write a C program to find the area of circle. Okay. So you know the formula for area of circle. Area of circle is pi r square, pi r square. Okay. So here r indicates the radius of circle. Okay, and then pi value is a constant. Okay. So 3.14. So in this section, we will define all the symbolic constants as defined pi. So whenever this variable pi occurs, its value will be replaced as 3.14. This is the definition. In this section, we will define all the symbolic constants. Okay. So and the next one followed by definition section. Next one is a global declaration section. So global declaration means variables or functions that are declared outside the main function. So what are the variables that are declared outside the main function, or what are the functions that are declared outside the main function, that are known as global declaration section. Once the variable is declared, once the variable is declared globally, so that variable can be accessed through the program. So this is the difference between a global declaration. Okay. So and the next in main function, we will discuss the local declaration. Global declaration means variable that are declared outside the main function, so that are known as global declaration. Once the variable is declared globally, okay, so that can be accessed through the program. Okay, see, this is the example. Float is a data type, a is a function, okay, and then int is a data type, x is a variable. Okay, these two things, these two declarations are done outside the main function. So this is known as global declaration form. Okay. So the next one is the main function. So the program execution will begin from the main function. Okay. So the main is the so this is the main function and the program execution begins. Okay. Every C program must contain only one main function. Okay. So this main function consists of two parts. One is the declaration part, another one is the execution part. Okay, all the variables that are declared within the main function. So the declaration is known as local declaration. Okay, so each and every C program should contain only one main function. Okay, so there are two parts. One is the declaration part, another one is the execution part. Next, we are going to see in detail what is declaration part and then what is execution part. Okay. Okay, so these two parts are declared in the opening and in closing curly braces. Okay, so the execution begins at the open curly brace and then ends with the closing curly brace. All the statements written between these two open curly and then closed curly should be terminated with a semicolon symbol. Okay, this open curly brace indicates the beginning of the execution of the program, and then closed curly brace indicates the termination. All the statements that are written inside the open curly and then closed curly should be terminated with a semicolon symbol. Okay, and then there are two parts. One is declaration part, another is execution part. So in declaration part, we will declare all the variables and then user defined functions are declared. Okay. So these variables are functions that are declared inside the main function that are known as a local declaration. Okay, and the next one is followed by execution part. So inside the execution part, program logic and other process is done. So the two curly brackets, one is open curly and another one is a closed curly. So these two are used to group all the statements together. Okay, so this is the main function. This is the main function. Okay, so and the next one is a subprogramming section. Subprogramming section. So in this section, we will deal with all user-defined functions that are called from main functions. Okay, so this section is an optional one. Okay, so in this section, I will deal with all user-defined functions that are called from main function. So these user-defined functions are declared and defined usually after the main function. After the main function, we will define and then we will declare and then we will define user-defined functions. Okay, next we are going to see one simple example for the structure of C program. Okay, so by seeing this example, you can get clear idea about the structure. Okay, see, this is the example program. Okay, first section is the documentation section. So already we have discussed what is documentation section. So this documentation section will consist of a set of command line. See, so this first see the first statement. So this one is a multi-line command. Okay. So inside the multi-line command, we wrote addition of two numbers. Okay. So while executing this program, so the statements inside the documentation section will not be executed by the compiler. So compiler will ignore the statement because these statements are written inside the multi-line command. Okay, so this section is an optional one, followed by documentation section. Next one is the link section or pre-process section. So in this section, we will declare all the header files. So here has include stdio.h. So this is a header file. Okay, so here stdio.h means standard input output.h. So here we have included all the standard input and output. Okay, output functions. Okay, and then followed by pre-process section. Next one is a definition section. So this definition section has defined all the statements begin with a has defined is a definition section. So in this section, I will define the symbolic constant. Okay, so here a is a variable name followed by value 10, followed by value 10. So here 10 is the value. Here 10 is the value. So this value, whenever this variable a occurs, so this value will be replaced as 10. So this is the definition section. In this section, we will define symbolic constant. Okay. So whenever this variable 10 occurs, then its value will be replaced by 10. Okay. And then followed by global declaration section. So global declaration means variables or functions that are declared outside the main functions that are known as global declaration part. Okay. So in this example, int c. So this is a variable declaration. Int is a data type followed by c is a variable name. And the next one int sum of within the bracket, within the parenthesis, int comma int. So this is a function. So this is variable declaration. So this one is a function. Okay. So these two are declared outside the main function. So this is a global declaration part. So followed by the global declaration part, next one is the main function. So each and every C program should contain only one main function. Okay. So the program execution will begin from the main function. So inside the main function, first there are two parts. First one is the declaration part. Next one is the execution part. Okay. So in this example, inside the main function int b. So this is a local declaration part. So here this variable b is declared locally. Okay, and then followed by the printf function. By using this printf function, we can display the values. Okay, so and then by using the scanf function, we can read the value from the user. Okay, so and then followed by this one is a function called c equal to sum of b. So here we are calling this function sum. Okay. So while executing this statement, the control will move to the defined part, user defined function. So and then all the statements that are written inside the this function sum will be executed. Okay. So after executing this function, so the control will again move to the beginning of the main function, and the next statement will be executed. Okay. So this int b is a local declaration part, and then remaining are execution part. Okay. So this is a structure of a C program. Okay. So in this example, int sum of int y. So this is known as a subprogramming section. This section is also an optional one. So this is a structure of a C program. Okay. So in this structure, we have discussed what is documentation section. So in this documentation section consists of a set of command line. So double backslash is a single line command, and in a single backslash followed by asterisk symbol, and in a asterisk symbol followed by backslash. So this is a multi-line command. All the statements that are written inside the command line will not be executed by the compiler. So compiler will ignore these statements. So usually in the documentation section, programmer will give the name of the program, and then author, and then time, and then date, okay, and then description, okay. So and then followed by this documentation section. Next one is a pre-process section. In this section, we will declare all the header files, okay. And the next one is the definition section. In this section, we will define the symbolic constant, okay. And then followed by global declaration section. So all the variables that are declared, outside the main function that are known as global declaration part. So once the variable or function that are declared globally means through the program we can access the variable as far as the function. Okay. And the next one followed by main function. Each and every C program should contain only one main function. Inside the main function there are two parts. One is the declaration part, another one is the execution part. Inside the main function, that is known as a local declaration part. The main difference between local declaration and the global declaration is if the variable that is declared locally means within that function we can access the program. Outside the function, it's not able to access the locally declared variable. Okay. So whereas in global declaration, through the program we can access that particular variable. Okay. So and then followed by the main function, next one is the programming section. Okay. So next we are going to see another one simple example. Okay. So in this example, so first statement is a header file. Okay, that is a preprocessor directive, and then followed by main function. Okay, so here this main function return type is a void. Okay, and then within the main function there is one printf statement. All the statements that are written inside the double quotes will be displayed in the output screen. Okay, so printf statement, by using this printf function we can display the output. Okay, by using the scanf function we can read the input from the user at runtime. Okay. So next we will discuss in detail how to declare a variable and then how to initialize a variable. Okay. So in this example, the output will be programming is fun. Okay, because the statement is written inside the printf function. Okay. So next we are going to see the syntax for variable declaration and then variable initialization. Okay. So before using the particular variable inside the program, first we should declare that variable. Okay. So there is certain syntax for declaring a variable in a C language. The syntax is data type followed by variable name. Okay. So here data type means what type of data. Data type means there is a type of data. What type of data we are going to use in the program. So there are different data types are there. Okay. In next section we will discuss in detail what is data type and then what are the different types of data types. Okay. So we will discuss in detail. Okay. So before that, just we are going to see how to declare a variable and then how to initialize a variable. So variable declaration syntax is data type followed by variable name. So here this is some of the examples for variable declaration. Okay. So int is a data type followed by variable name is a. So here int indicates the integer data type and then followed by float. Okay. So here this float indicates the floating point type. So this is the syntax for variable declaration. Then this is some of the examples for variable declaration. Okay, and the next one is a variable initialization. Initialization means assigning some values. Okay, so here we can assign the values to the variable by using the following syntax: data type followed by variable name. So here we will use the assignment operator. Equal to is an assignment operator. By using this assignment operator, we can assign the values to the variable. Okay, so int a equal to 10. So here int is a data type followed by a is a variable name. Okay. So here in this statement, here we have assigned the value 10 to this variable a. Here we have assigned the value 10 to this variable a. So this 10 should be of an integer value. Okay. So on the next example, floating point type. Okay. Here data type is a float. Okay, followed by b is a variable name. Here we have assigned 3.5. 3.5 is a floating point numbers. Okay. So here we have assigned this 3.5 to this variable b. So these are the examples for variable declaration and then variable initialization. So before using the particular variable in the program, first we should declare that variable. Okay, without declaring the variable, so then it shows some error message. Okay, so the syntax for a variable declaration is data type followed by variable name. So here int is a data type, float is also a data type. Okay, and the next one is a variable name. A and B are variable name. And the next one is a variable initialization. Initialization means we are assigning some values to the variable. Okay, data type int a equal to 10. Okay, here value 10 is assigned to the variable a, and then float b. So here the value 3.5 is assigned to the variable b. Okay, so next we are going to see on simple example. So in this example, here we are going to do addition of the two numbers. Okay, and then next we are going to display the output. Okay, so in this example, the first two lines as include stdio.h and in as include conego.h. So these two are header files. Okay, so these two are header files or preprocessor directives. Okay, so each and every C program should begin with a preprocessor directive as include statement. Okay, and then followed by the header file. Next one is the main function. Each and every C program should contain only one main function. So here in this example also there is only one main function. Inside the main function, first statement is a local declaration part. So here we have declared the variable sum. So the sum is a variable. Okay, this is declared of integer data type. Okay, and then followed by the variable declaration. Next one we have assigned the value to the sum. Okay, next one by using the assignment operator, here we have assigned the value to the sum of integer type, that is the 50 plus 25. Okay, so 50 plus 25 means here we are going to add these two values 50 and then 25. So 50 plus 25 means the answer is 75. The 75 the value will be assigned to the variable sum. So this one is a variable declaration part. Okay, this variable is declared locally. And then next we have assigned some value to this already declared variable. Okay, so by using this assignment operator, we can assign the value 50 plus 25 means 75. This value will be assigned to this variable. And then finally, we are going to print the final result. Okay, print the final result. So this result is stored in a variable sum. So all the statements that are written inside the printf function that will be displayed in the output screen. So the output will be the sum of 50 and 25. So this will be displayed in the output screen. Okay. So this percentage D, here this percentage D indicates the control string for integer. Okay. So here we have declared the here we have declared the variable, here we have declared the variable type as sum. Okay. So this variable type as an integer. Okay. The control string for integer variable is percentage D. So the output will be displayed as the sum of 50 and 25 is 50 and 25 is 75. Okay, so this is simple example for structure of a C program. Okay, so far we have discussed about who developed this C language, and then when it was developed, and then where it was developed, and then what is the purpose, what is the use of developing this C language. Okay. So these are the some of the facts about C programming language. Initially, this language was invented to write Unix operating system. This language was evolved from ALGOL. ALGOL means algorithmic programming language, and then followed by BCPL, that is a basic combined programming language, and then B language. Okay. Unix operating system, PHP, and then MySQL. These applications are written by using the C programming language. Okay. And then next we are discussing about the uses of C programming language. So this language was used for developing system applications. Some of the applications are database system, language interpreter, compiler, operating system, network driver, and then word processor. And then next we have discussed about the several reasons why the C program become very popular. Okay, and then next we have discussed about the features of C programming language. So this is a robust language. This language is built strongly. So there are several built-in functions and then operators are there. So writing programming C language is very easy, and then we can execute that program very fastly. Okay, so this is efficient one. And the next one, this one is highly portable. Highly portable means program that is written in in one machine that can be run on another machine without doing any minor modifications or changes. Okay, so this program consists of several C library functions, and then this language is easily extensible. Extensible means easily expandable one. Okay, and then next we have discussed about some of the advantages. So this is one of the building blocks for several programming languages. Okay, from this C language, they have developed the C++ and Java. Okay, programs written in C language are highly portable. Okay, so there are several built-in functions are there, and then code debugging is very easier one. So we can easily rectify the error. Debugging means that is the finding, eliminating the error. Bug means error. Debugging means eliminating the particular error. Okay. So these are the advantages, and then next we have discussed about the disadvantages. Okay. So this C does not provide an object-oriented programming concept. Okay. Whereas C++ and Java provide the OOPS concept. Okay. So and then C does not provide a constructor and destructor concept. Okay. So constructor and destructor, these two are special member functions. These two are special member functions. So these are the advantages and then disadvantages of C program. And then next we have discussed about the structure of C program. So each and every C program should contain different sections. One is a documentation section, and one is a pre-process section. Another name of pre-process section is a link section, and then followed by global declaration section, and then next one followed by main function. So each and every C program should contain only one main function. The program execution will begin from the main function, and then inside the main function there are two parts. One is a global local declaration part, another one is the execution part. So followed to the main function, there is a subprogramming section. So in this structure, documentation section, global declaration part, and then subprogramming section. These three sections are optional ones. This is not mandatory. And then next we have discussed about what is the documentation section, okay, and then what is the length section, and then what is the definition section, and then next we have discussed about what is the difference between local declaration part and then global declaration part. Local declaration means variables that are declared within the function. They are known as local declaration. Global declaration means variable or function that are declared outside the main function. They are known as global declaration part. The main difference between local declaration and global declaration is if the variable that is declared locally means within the particular block we can access the variable. If suppose if the variable is declared globally means throughout the program we can access that particular variable. Okay, and then followed by the declaration, local global declaration. Next one is the main function. So each and every C program having only one main function, and then we are discussed about the two different parts. Okay, and the next one subprogram section. So this inside the main function. Okay, so these user defined functions are declared and defined usually after the main function. Okay, this function is called from the main function. Okay, and then next we have discussed one simple example for the structure of C program. Okay, so by seeing this example, you can get a clear idea about the structure of C program and then what are the different sections in the structure. Okay, and then next we have discussed on another one simple example. Okay, so the output for this program is programming is fun. Okay, and then next we have discussed about the variable declaration. What is variable declaration, and then what is variable initialization, and then what is the syntax for variable declaration, and then what is the syntax for variable initialization. Initialization means assigning some values to the particular variable. So before using a variable in the program, first we should declare that variable. Okay, so if that particular variable is not declared means you will get an error message. Okay, first we should declare the variable, and then we can assign means we can initialize the variable in two different ways. One is compile time initialization, another one is a runtime initialization. So there are two different ways of initialization. Okay, so in next lecture we can discuss what is data type, okay, and then what are the different data types. Okay, so that we will discuss in next video. Okay, thank you for watching.